It's a wonderful day with wonder. Deep breath in and out. Oh, beautiful, beautiful beings of light. Although I have not seen Segway1 the SpiralGalaxyKitty yet, but I am feeling like I want to pull a card from the wisdom of the oracle today to set this space. I've called in the ancestors, the elements, the angels, the spirit guides, and I think I want to read from this book because it's really beautiful and it has some messages that are creative, sacral chakra, solar plexus energy could use right now, because there's been a lot of solar plexus and sacral coming up in the readings, telling us to create. And this book is called The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And I'm just going to pull one card first to set the space. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I love the sound of the rain. So pretty. Alright. Angels, spirit guides, higher wonder. Whoa. Okay, well, I didn't ask yet. Angels, spirit guides, higher wonder, higher you, higher me, higher we. What wisdom from the oracle do we need to hear right now for our highest good and the highest good of all beings? Came out again. I believe that came out, but I don't have my glasses on. But we'll get there. Thank you, Spirit. To the sea. Showing a being on a boat. Looks like a paper folded boat, and the being looks to be like a fairy. They have purple intuition wings. They've got a compass showing them which way to go. They have binoculars to look out. There's bubbles around them, which remind me of the inner child. And there's like a being space in the sky, showing that they're not alone. They're guided even though they're out to sea. It's like the great unknown, the deep mystery, emotional. Number 7, to the sea. Whoa. Hopefully you can see that good right there. And we'll leave that. To the sea. Number 7. Just beneath 717. Essential meanings: being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. The oracle's message: isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life? When events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. Alright. So now, story time. Welcome to Wisdom with Wonder. My name is Wonder Woman Heart. read from the book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. It may take more than one sitting for me to record this. And it says here, the object isn't to make art, it's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable, by Robert Henry. Let's see what messages we have for today. Nothing in this book is known to be true. It's a reflection on what I've noticed, not facts so much as thoughts. Some ideas may resonate, others may not. A few may awaken an inner knowing you forgot you had. Use what's helpful, let go of the rest. Each of these moments is an invitation to further inquiry, looking deeper, zooming out or in, opening possibilities for a new way of being. Everyone is a creator. Those who do not engage in the traditional arts might be worried or wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capabilities, a calling for the special few who are born with these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't. There before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we're already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. Through a series of electrical and chemical reactions, we generate a reality internally. We create forests and oceans, warmth and cold. We read words, hear voices, and form interpretations. Then, in an instant, we produce a response. All of this in a world of our own creation. Regardless of whether or not we're formally making art, we are all living as artists. We perceive, filter, and collect data, then create an experience for ourselves and others based on this information set. Whether we do this consciously or unconsciously, by the mere fact of being alive, we are active participants in the ongoing process of creation. To live as an artist in a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention, refining our sensitivity to tune in to the more subtle notes, looking for what draws us in and what pushes us away. Noticing what feeling tones arise and where they lead. Attuned choice by attuned choice, your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe. A singular work of art. Tuning in. Think of the universe as an eternal creative unfolding. Trees blossom. Cells replicate. Rivers forge new tributaries. The world pulses with productive energy, and everything that exists on this planet is driven by that energy. Every manifestation of this unfolding is doing its own work on behalf of the universe, each in its own way, true to its own creative impulse. Just as trees grow flowers and fruits, humanity creates works of art. The Golden Gate Bridge, the White Album, Guernica, Hagia Sophia, the Sphinx, the Space Shuttle, the Autobahn, Clair de Lune, the Colosseum in Rome, the Phillips screwdriver, the iPad, Philadelphia cheesesteak. Philadelphia cheesesteak. Look around you. There are so many remarkable accomplishments to appreciate. Each of these is humanity being true to itself. As a hummingbird is true to itself by building a nest, a peach tree by bearing fruit, and a nimbus cloud by producing rain. Every nest, every peach, every raindrop, and every great work is different. Some trees may appear to make more beautiful fruits than others, and some humans may appear to compose greater works than others. The taste and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. How does the cloud know when to rain? How does the tree know when spring begins? How does the bird know when it's time to build a new nest? The universe functions like a clock. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, and a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. These rhythms are not set by us. We are all participating in a larger creative act. We are not conducting. We are being conducted. The artist is on a cosmic timetable, just like all of nature. If you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. In this great unfolding, ideas and thoughts, themes and songs, and other works of art exist in the ether and ripen on schedule, ready to find expression in the physical world. And artists, as artists, it is our job to draw down this information, transmute it, and share it. We are all translators for messages. The universe is broadcasting. The best artists tend to be the ones with the most sensitive antenna to draw in the energy resonating at a particular moment. Many great artists first developed sensitive antenna not to create art, but to protect themselves. They have to protect themselves because everything hurts more. They feel everything more deeply. Often, art arrives in movements. Bauhaus, architecture, abstract expressionism, French New Wave cinema, beat poetry, punk rock, to name a few from recent history. These movements appear like a wave. Some artists are able to read the culture and position themselves to ride that swell. Others might see the wave and choose to swim against the current. We are all antenna for creative thought. Some transmissions come on strong. Others are more faint. If your antenna isn't sensitively tuned, you're likely to lose the data in the noise. Particularly since the signals coming through are of 10 more subtle, or often more subtle, than the content we collect through sensory awareness. They are energetic. Hello, Segway1. Hello. Hello. You see your food, baby? Yeah.
Hello. You want to eat where everyone can see how cute you are eating? Here. Put your food over here. Good. Segway, yum yum show. Go, sweetheart. Treats? How are you? It's wet out there. It's wet out there. Oh my gosh. Here's one to the treats. Oh, I missed you, baby. Welcome, we're reading a story. If you want to cuddle after you eat.
We are all antenna for creative thought. Some transmissions come on strong, others more faint. If your antenna isn't sensitively tuned, you're likely to lose the data in the noise, particularly since the signals coming through are often more subtle than the content we collect through sensory awareness. They are energetic more than tactical, intuitively perceived more than consciously recorded. Most of the time, we are gathering data from the world through the 5 senses, with the information that's being transmitted on higher frequencies. We are channeling energetic material that can't be physically grasped. It defies logic in the same way that an electron can be in 2 places at once. This elusive energy is of great worth, though so few people are open enough to hold it. How do we pick up on a signal that can neither be heard nor be defined? The answer is not to look for it, nor do we attempt to predict or analyze our way into it. Instead, we create an open space that allows it. A space so free of the normal, overpacked condition of our minds that it functions as a vacuum, drawing down the ideas that the universe is making available. This freedom is not as difficult to achieve as one might think. We all start with it as children We experience much less interference between receiving ideas and internalizing them. We accept new information with delight instead of making comparisons to what we already believe. We live in the moment rather than worrying about future consequences. We are spontaneous more than analytical. We are curious, not jaded. Even the most ordinary experiences in life are met with a sense of awe. Deep sadness and intense excitement can come within moments of each other. There's no facade and no attachment to a story. Artists who are able to continually create great works throughout their lives often manage to perceive these childlike qualities, or they don't perceive them, they preserve these childlike qualities, practicing a way of being that allows you to see the world through uncorrupted, innocent eyes, can free you to act in concert with the universe's timetable. There is a time for certain ideas to arrive, and they find a way to express themselves through us. The source of creativity. We begin with everything. Everything seen, everything done, everything thought, everything felt, everything imagined, everything forgotten, and everything that rests unspoken and unthought within us. This is our source material, and from it we build each creative moment. This content does not come from inside us. The source is out there, a wisdom surrounding us, an inexhaustible offering that is always available. We either sense it, remember it, or tune into it, not only through our experiences. It may also be dreams, intuitions, subliminal fragments, or other ways still unknown by which the outside finds its way inside. To the mind, this material appears to come from within, but that's an illusion. There are tiny fragments of the vastness of Source stored within us. These precious wisps arise from the unconscious like vapor and condense and form a thought, an idea. It may be helpful to think of Source as a cloud. Clouds never truly disappear. They change form. They turn into rain and become part of the ocean, and then evaporate and return to being clouds. The same is true of art. Art is a circulation of energetic ideas. What makes them appear new is that they're combining differently each time they come back. No two clouds are the same. This is why when we are struck by a new piece of art, it can resonate on a deeper level. Perhaps this is the familiar coming back to us in an unfamiliar form. Or maybe it is something unknown that we didn't realize we were looking for. A missing piece in a puzzle that has no end. Turning something from an idea into a reality can make it seem smaller. It changes from unearthly to earthly. The imagination has no limits. The physical world does. The work exists in both. awareness. In most of our daily activities, we choose the agenda and develop a strategy to achieve the goal at hand. We create the program. Awareness moves differently. The program is happening around us. The world is the doer, and we are the witness. We have little or no control over the content. The gift of awareness allows us to notice what's going on around and inside ourselves in the present moment. And to do so without attachment or involvement. We may observe bodily sensations, passing thoughts and feelings, sounds or visual cues, smells and tastes. Through detached noticing, awareness allows an observed flower to reveal more of itself without our intervention. This is true of all things. Awareness is not a state you force. There is little effort involved, though persistence is key. It's something you actively allow to happen. It is presence with and acceptance of what is happening in the eternal now. As soon as you label an aspect of source, you're no longer noticing, you're studying. This holds true of any thought that takes you out of presence with the object of your awareness, whether analysis or simply becoming aware that you're aware. Analysis is a secondary function. The awareness happens first as a pure connection with the object of your attention. If something strikes me as interesting or beautiful, first I live that experience. Only afterward might I attempt to understand it. Though we can't change what it is that we are noticing, we can change our ability to notice. We can expand our awareness and narrow it, experience it with our eyes open or closed. We can quiet our inside so we can perceive more on the outside, or quiet the outside so we can notice more of what's happening inside. We can zoom in on something so closely it loses the features that make it what it appears to be, or zoom so far it seems like something entirely new. The universe is only as large as our perception of it. When we cultivate our awareness, we are expanding the universe. This expands the scope, not just of the material at our disposal to create from, but of the life we get to live. The ability to look deeply is the root of creativity. To see past the ordinary and mundane and get to what might otherwise be invisible. The vessel and the filter. Each of us has a container within. It is constantly being filled with data. It holds the sum total of our thoughts, feelings, dreams, and experiences in the world. Let's call this the vessel. Information does not enter the vessel directly, like rain filling into a barrel. It is filtered in a unique way for each of us. not everything makes it through this filter. And what does get through doesn't always do so faithfully. We each have our own method of reducing source. Our memory space is limited. Our senses often misperceive data, and our minds don't have the processing power to take it all in. The information surrounding us, our senses would be overwhelmed by light, color, sound, and smell. We would not be able to distinguish one object from another. To navigate our way through this immense world of data, we learn early in life to focus on information that appears essential or of particular interest, and to tune out the rest. As artists, we seek to restore our childlike perception, a more innocent state of wonder and appreciation, not tethered to utility or survival. Our filter inevitably reduces source intelligence by interpreting the data that arrives instead of letting it pass freely. As the vessel fills with these recast fragments, relationships are created with the material already collected. These relationships produce beliefs and stories. They may be about who we are, the people around us, and the nature of the world we live in. Eventually, these stories coalesce with a worldview. As artists, we want to hold these stories softly and find space for the vast amount of information that doesn't fit easily within the limits of our belief system. The more raw data we can take in, and the less we shape it, the closer we get to nature. Right, sweetie? Thank you. Segway1. One can think of the creative act of taking the sum of our vessel's contents as potential material, selecting for elements that seem useful or significant in a moment, and representing them. This is source drawn through us and made into books, movies, buildings, paintings, meals, businesses, whatever projects we embark on. If we choose to share what we make, our work can recirculate and become source material for others. Source makes available. The filter distills. The vessel receives. And often, this happens beyond our control. It is helpful to know this default system can be bypassed. With training, we can improve our interface with Source and radically expand the vessel's ability to receive. Changing the instrument is not always the easiest way to change the sound of the music, but it can be the most powerful. No matter what tools you use to create, the true instrument is you. And through you, the universe that surrounds us all comes into focus. The unseen. By conventional definition, the purpose of art is to create physical and digital artifacts, to fill shelves with pottery, books, and records. Though artists generally aren't aware of it, that end work is a byproduct of a greater desire. We aren't creating to produce or sell material products. The act of creation is an attempt to enter a mysterious realm, a longing to transcend. What we create allows us to share glimpses of inner landscape, one that is beyond our understanding. Art is our portal to the unseen world. Without the spiritual component, the artist works with a crucial disadvantage. The spiritual world provides a sense of wonder and a degree of open-mindedness, not always found within the confines of science. The world of reason can be narrow and filled with dead ends, while a spiritual viewpoint is limitless and invites fantastic possibilities. The unseen world is boundless. The word spirituality can not speak to those who dwell chiefly in the intellect, or those who equate the world with organized religion. If you prefer to think of spirituality as simply believing in connection, that's fine. If you choose to think of it as believing in magic, that's fine too. The things we believe carry a charge, regardless of whether they can be proven or not. The practice of spirituality is a way of looking at a world where you're not alone. There are deeper meanings behind the surface. The energy around you can be harnessed to elevate your work. You are part of something much larger than can be explained, a world of immense possibilities. Harnessing this energy can be marvelously useful in your creative pursuits. The principle operates on faith, believing and behaving as if it's true. No proof is needed. When you're working on a project, oh, hummingbird, watch out. Hummingbird. Sometimes the hummingbirds like to come in, but the kitty's too wild. Don't come in. When you're working on a project, you may notice apparent coincidences appearing more often than randomness allows. Almost as if there is another hand guiding yours in a certain direction. As if there is an inner knowing gently informing your movements. Faith allows you to trust the direction without needing to understand it. Pay particular attention to the moments that take your breath away. A beautiful sunset, an unusual eye color, a moving piece of music, the elegant design of a complex machine. If a piece of work, a fragment of consciousness, or an element of nature is somehow allowing us to access something bigger, that is its spiritual component made manifest. It awards us a glimpse of the unseen. It's not unusual for science to catch up to art, eventually, nor is it unusual for art to catch up to the spiritual. Look for clues. Material for our work surrounds us at every turn. It's woven into conversation, nature, chance encounters, and existing works of art. When looking for a solution to a creative problem, pay close attention to what's happening around you. Look for clues, pointing to new methods or ways to further develop current ideas. A writer may be in a coffee shop working on a scene and unsure what a character is going to say next. A phrase might be overheard in the chatter from another table that provides a direct answer, or at least a glimpse of a possible direction. We receive these types of messages all the time if we remain open to them. We might read a book and find a quote leaping off the page, or watch a movie and notice a line that moves us to pause and rewind. Sometimes it's the exact answer we've been looking for. Or it could be an echo of an idea that keeps repeating in other places, begging for more attention, or affirming the path we're on. These transmissions are subtle. They are ever present. But they're easy to miss if we aren't looking for clues. They'll pass by without us ever knowing. Notice connections and consider where they lead. When something out of the ordinary happens, ask yourself why. What's the message? What could be the greater meaning? Right, Kitty? This process isn't science. We can't control clues or will them to be revealed. Sometimes it helps us to have a strong intention to find a specific answer or to confirm a particular path. Other times, letting go of that intention altogether can help you find your way. An integral part of the artist's work is deciphering these signals. The more open you are, the more clues you will find, and the less effort you will need to exert. You may be able to think less and begin to rely on answers arising within you. You might imagine that the outside world is a conveyor belt with a stream of small packages on it, always going by. The first step is to notice the conveyor belt is there. And then, anytime you want, you can pick up one of those packages, unwrap it, and see what's inside. A helpful exercise might be opening a book to a random page and reading the first line your eyes find. See how what's written there somehow applies to your situation. Any relevance it bears might be by chance, but you might allow for the possibility that chance is not all that's at play. When my appendix burst, the doctor who diagnosed it insisted that I go to the hospital immediately to have it removed. I was told there were no other options. I found myself in a nearby bookstore, standing out on a table. In the front was a new book by Dr. Andrew Weil. I picked it up and let it fall open. The first passage my eyes went to said, "If a doctor wants to remove a part of your body and they tell you it has no function, don't believe this." The information I needed was made available to me in that moment. And I still have my appendix. When clues present themselves, it can sometimes feel like the delicate mechanism of a clock at work, as if the universe is nudging you with little reminders that it's on your side and wants to provide everything you need to complete your mission. Look for what you notice, but no one else sees. Look for what you notice, but no one else sees. Right, Kitty? No one sees that dripping down my chin. No.
Just being me.
Practice. In the wild, Kitty, is this your chapter? Animals must narrow their field of vision to survive. A tight focus prevents distraction from critical needs. Food, shelter, predators, procreation. For the artist, this reflexive action can be a hindrance. Widening one's scope allows for more moments of interest to be noticed and collected, building a treasury of material to draw from later. A practice is the embodiment of an approach to a concept. This can support us in bringing about a desired state of mind. When we repeat the existence of opening our senses to what is, we move closer to living in a continually open state. We build a habit, one where expanded awareness is our default way of being in the world. To deepen this practice is to embark on a more profound relationship with Source. As we reduce the interference of our filter, we become better able to recognize the rhythms and movements around us. This allows us to participate with them in a more harmonious way. When we take notice of cycles of the planet and choose to live in accordance with its seasons, something remarkable happens. We become connected. We begin to see ourselves as part of a greater whole that is, Kitty, that is constantly regenerating itself. And we may then tap into this all-powerful propagating force and ride its creative wave. Yes, that's right, Kitty. To support our practice, we might set up a daily schedule where we engage in particular rituals at specific times every day or week. The gestures we perform don't need to be grand. Small rituals can make a big difference. Kitty, you have sharp claws, my love. We can decide to take 3 slow, deep breaths upon awakening each morning. Let's do that together now. This simple act can set a course to start each day still, centered, and in the moment. We might also eat our meals mindfully, slowly savoring each bite with appreciation, like Kitty. Take a daily walk in nature, looking at everything entering our field of vision with gratitude and connection. Take a moment to marvel at the feeling of our heartbeat and the movement of blood through our veins before sleep. The purpose of such exercises is not necessarily in the doing, just as the goal of meditation isn't in the meditating. The purpose is to evolve the way we see the world when we're not engaged in these acts. We are building the musculature of our psyche to more acutely tune in. This is so much of what the work is about. Awareness needs constant refreshing. If it becomes a habit, even a good habit, It will need to be reinvented again and again until one day you notice that you are always in the practice of awareness at all times, in all places, living your life in a state of constant openness to receiving. He's very aware. So, let's see. We'll stop here. Or will we, Kitty? Should we? Want to read more? What do you think, Kitty? Is that good for today? We can continue another day. The next chapter talks about submerging. So we read through page 45. And this was the energy of our reading, To the Sea. We went deep to sea today. And we'll continue this. But for now, we're going to get an animal spirit oracle to close our reading. Some guidance from the spirit animals. Thank you, angels. You know, I was wondering if the card would come out. The hummingbird spirits on the bottom of the deck. And a hummingbird actually just flew to our door and peeked in on us as we were reading. So that's the card we're going to read today. That's the message. I don't even need to pull a card. It's already here for us, the hummingbird. And it's come out in a few readings. Hummingbird wants to be seen. And it's about being here now. Look at this beauty. Number 34, which is number 7. Again. What does Hummingbird have to say? Hummingbirds keep coming by. So beautiful. Hummingbird spirit, be here now. Oracle message. The hummingbird's wings beat so swiftly it can hover in seeming stillness as it drinks deeply from a flower. Hummingbird spirit comes to remind you that the beauty and sweetness of life is in the eternal now, the timeless present. Here and now, you are becoming the person you wish to be, to have the experiences you wish to have. Focus your energy on the flower before you, for what you desire is being provided. Yes, there are blossoms everywhere. The choices can be dazzling. Hummingbird Spirit's message is that you have no need to go about in search of something better, for all that you require and desire is before you. You will know this as you become still, feeling your connection to Spirit, who loves you unconditionally and will always provide for you. That was a beautiful message. Thank you, Hummingbird, for coming by. We do appreciate you. So, was everyone out there creating? That's one message that's been coming through in multiple readings. to create, create, create. Hope you received some beautiful wisdom from our reading today. And we'll continue. We'll continue. But let's take some time to absorb this beautiful wisdom that came through today. And we'll talk together soon. Right, kitty? Have a wonderful day with Segway and Wonder.
We have to get up to turn off the camera.
Thank you for being here.